In this lesson, we're going to be setting up the replay game button at the end of our final level. So we only have 2 levels, so we're going to put here in level 2. And let's go ahead and just open up the canvas. I'm going to actually just right click on the canvas, and I'm going to go to UI, and we're going to create a button. I'm going to zoom out a little bit with the scroll wheel so we can actually see our canvas over here. Cool, so that's what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and drag the little crosshairs to the corners of this, like I always do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the text. So I need to open up the button right here, click on the little arrow, then select the text. Then in the text component, I'm going to change this to be play again, question mark. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to say best fit. And that's looking fine. Now what I want to do is I need to go ahead and modify our script that's on our crate that triggers the end of the level, or that gets triggered at the end of the level. So I'm going to open up end game trigger, and we get that open. We're going to make a few changes in here that will set up this different sort of ending for this final level. So since it is a little different from the other ones, I'm going to make a bool. It's going to be public, so we can set it in the inspector. And we're going to call it final level. So we're going to set the same inspector for whatever our final level is. And what I'm going to use this for is basically once our pink crate has been triggered by a collision with the player, then we need to check to see if this is the final level. So final level. Then we need to do some stuff. So do some stuff. Else, then we're going to load the next level. If it's not the final level, just go to the next one. And so now for what happens inside the if final level, well, what we're going to do here is we're going to make this button visible so that you can actually use it. So I'm going to turn this off by default. And let's go back into our script. And I need to go ahead and get a reference to that button. So let's go and make a public game object. So we're going to change the set active so we can turn on and off basically. And it's going to be called let's see, just play again button. Just like that. Okay, cool. So we really only have this assigned in the final level since that's the only place it's going to matter. And in here, if it is the final level, then I'm going to make this lowercase for the P there. Keep our convention of having all these variables start with a lowercase letter intact. Yeah, so I'm going to say play again button dot set active to equal true. So that will make it so that when it gets to the end of the game, then yeah, okay, yes, set that to be true. Yeah, we're good to go on having the user be able to click that button. So with that, we need to make one more function in here. This is going to be our function that our button is going to call when we click on it. So it's going to be, we need to make sure it's public so that we can access it. And let's just call it, it's going to be a void function, not going to return anything. It's going to be restart game. Okay, and no parameters, so just like that. Restart game. And in here, it's just going to be another application.load level. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it in here, and we can just take out this level num part and put 1 there because we're going to reload level 1. That's our first level. And save that. Okay. Cool. So now let's go back over here, back into the Unity editor, let that compile, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just assign that function down here. So let's go ahead and on the button component, on the onClick event, I'm going to click the little plus to make a new onClick event, and we're going to drag and drop our pink crate into here, and then we can access the script that's attached to it, our end game trigger script, and we can go ahead and call our restart game. So on click, it'll restart the game, just like our other buttons. And this is how we set up all of our events on button clicks. So that should be good. And one thing I mentioned earlier, just when I save a script and I come back in here, I have to wait for it to compile for I can do many things. You can tell when it's compiling. Let's say I'm just going to make a change here. I'm going to add a comment, maybe here. It's going to be restart game, whatever. That's fine. Just showing you, so I'm going to save it so it's made a change. Now you can see it's compiling down here. This is a little spinny thing. That's how you know it's compiling. So when it's done, that will stop doing stuff. And then you'll get messages in the console if there's errors or warnings or things like that. So anyway, so I think that worked. Let's go ahead and just test this out, see what happens. Oh, wait, no, one more thing we need to make sure we do. We need to make sure we set in the end game trigger component that this is indeed the final level. So I'm going to click the little checkbox. There we go. So now we can play through this and hopefully not die. Oh, so close. Oh, no. Okay, let's try again. It's tricky staircases. And go into the final one. And we have an error. And you know why? I think I know why. Because we didn't assign something else. You gotta make sure you do all of these things. You need to make sure we need to assign the play again button. So I'm just gonna cheat this time around, and I'm gonna move our player to be right next to the thing, or pretty close anyway. So where is our character at? Right here. Select it, press F, zoom in on it. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. And then let's just move this guy and get this tool's a little easier to move things around with. So move him right there. And press play. There we go, so that's come up. And we are not able to click on it though. And that's because we need to add something else into our scene. So what do we need to add into our scene? Okay, now what we're gonna add is we're going to go to Game Object, UI, and we're going to add an event system. So sometimes when you add in a button, if that's like the first UI thing you put into your level, it might go ahead and add an event system. So just make sure you don't end up having two in your scene. But what this will do is it will basically take input for events, that sort of thing. So you see we have some stuff set up over here. We're not going to get into this right now, but that's basically what it does. So that will allow us to use our button. So I'm going to press play, try this again. Oh, I went the wrong direction immediately. There we go. So play again, and we're loaded back on the first level. So there we go. We have our play again button working. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just move our character back to the beginning of the level. Just like that. Cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.